part of what makes Bhakti Vedanta so, not just, it makes it beautiful, but it makes it effective, effective in this day and life. Yeah, I can respect spiritual practitioners of different ilks, I suppose.
Oh yeah, different ilks. Forget it.
But where I see transformation take place, it takes absorption. It takes very deep absorption, and it's very rare that a person gets fully absorbed in the abstract, right? In the attributeless Brahman. But anyone, a child, can get absorbed in Kirtan.
Sure.
A child can get absorbed.
We're witnessing it here with the children here.
We see it all the time. A child can get absorbed. You were talking about a Chudagopi or Janavi. They were just children like all other children, but it would be hard to take a child of that age and have them deeply absorbed in Advaita Vedanta.
Yeah, sit still, calm your mind and breathe.
Right. And so in one sense, we're all kind of like children, particularly in this day and age. Our minds are restless. But the idea that even from the young, just from the womb, practically, you can have your mind, your senses can become absorbed in spiritual content. And really, we call it the Pada Brahman, right? Like the highest manifestation of that spiritual energy. You can become captivated by it. You can become caught up in it, in the beat, in the taste, in the flavor, and let it pull you deeper and deeper into spiritual absorption. So that's the Bhāgavatam began with the sages and Naimisharanya. They knew the Kali Yuga was coming. They knew that the lives were going to be shorter for people. They knew that the minds were going to be disturbed and restless. They were concerned. With compassion, they're very concerned, and they're saying, what brings the ultimate good to mankind? How will people find shelter in this darker age? And the answer was, you're going to find it in Bhagavatam. You're going to find it in Bhakti Vedanta. You're going to find it in that. And what is Bhagavatam pushing right from the beginning to end? Chanting of these holy names and Sankirtan. So it's simultaneously valuable just for the aesthetic beauty of it, but beyond that, the practicality, pragmatism. There you go, right?
Very pragmatic.
So it seems to me like William James, I get the impression he was very intelligent. I get the impression he researched a lot about what you could call religious experience, which I think nowadays we would probably call it spiritual experience, right? How people transform through their spiritual practices. And he was seeing a pattern, right? He was seeing that the way that this works is when someone tastes something, he said a new ardor which burns in his breast consumes the lower lust which formerly beset him. It wasn't just by, like you were saying, like, what do you call it, white-knuckling?
White-knuckling it.
Yeah, it's that there's something beautiful in their spiritual practice that just carries them, and that's what we can find in Bhakti Yoga.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from the Govardhan Ecovillage in beautiful Maharashtra, India, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a Bhakti Yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha. Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday, beautiful people. Today is, what's the date today?
The 6th, I think, of January?
6th of January, Tuesday, and it's episode 1718. Boom. How are you, Kaustubha? How are you doing today?
I'm just happy to be here with you, Baba Ganoush.
You know who's great? Achyuta Gopi has arrived.
Oh, yeah.
The queen of Kirtan has arrived. She's one of these people.
Tell me about her.
She was born to change the world. You know what I mean? Because it's sort of like one of those plants. What is it? Bamboo. The bamboo takes like years and years to grow roots. And nothing, it doesn't appear like it's even growing. Mm-hmm. And then one day it just shoots up. She's like developed her roots with her whole family in Krishna Kirtan.
No doubt.
Real traditional Krishna Kirtan. They will sing in front of 2 people, 4 people, 10 people, 50 people, a Sunday feast. But they just always kept their integrity about them. And then Krishna tagged them. It's time to sprout. And just like the bamboos will shoot up so quick it looks like, oh, look at this fast-growing plant. Not fast-growing. That thing has some deep, deep, deep roots growing, a whole fabric of roots growing. And just like her, she's like taking off and singing to thousands, if not tens of thousands. And it attracts so many people who are sort of like on the edge of, I don't know if you know this, but there's like a phenomenon happening in India right now where people are, youth or young people are over clubbing and they're getting into like kirtan clubbing.
Right.
It's something that sort of, I think we might have thought about it like in the 80s or something or 90s.
It's happening.
But it's actually happening all over because they're just like from pious families. Even in the West, even if you say, hey, we're Indians, but we want to be like a little Western, all Western people are saying, alcohol, there's no good that comes from alcohol if you really care about your body. Like alcohol, it's on its way down. Smoking is on its way out. And now like people want spirituality. Spirituality is like in vogue.
Yeah.
And for people who are born in India, they're like, well, wait a second. We got the head start on this. My grandfather was a Brahmin. We've had a deity in our house. We have pictures of Krishna in our house. We have a family guru.
Now we can do this.
Yeah,
And,
so
everyone will be happy.
So these people like Achyuta, Radhika, Janavi Harrison, they are like growing up in Bhakti. Now they're taking this. Lord Chaitanya has positioned them at the center stage to take all these people who are just sort of like basically fruit, but just sort of hanging on a tree, and they're just shaking the tree.
Yeah.
And all these people are just coming forward, and Bhakti's like solidifying deeper and deeper into their heart, which was in their probably ancestry, but it gets lost in the midst. In the same way, Catholicism got lost to me. I didn't quite understand. It wasn't really taught to me that well. I'm not saying there's some lack of depth in Catholicism, but it's not like the way my mother taught it to me or even the way I learned it in Sunday school. But when you grow up in a tradition, sometimes you take the tradition cheaply.
Yeah, it's a fact. And, there's not, traditions get handed down, but there's not always so much thought into how it's, investing is understanding the meaning and making sure that the people that you're handing it down to understand why you see it so valuable in your life. But if you take the examples that you gave, like Achyuta Gopi,
Janavi
of course
Harrison.
the rest of her family, and Janavi, they both come from families where like their parents are like really deep devotees. And so they received it, understanding its value, and now they've just incredibly powerfully invested with it. Janavi's up for the Grammy.
That's unbelievable, huh?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is I've said this before, I'll say it again. It's a bhakti tsunami that's happening in the same way we look back at the time of Lord Chaitanya, what was happening in Vrindavan, the course you just studied, the phenomenon of a bhakti renaissance.
Yeah.
It is happening right now. In the last 30 years, it's been happening, and I'm so excited to be like a tiny part of it. Boom, yeah. But I can't even imagine what bhakti is going to be like in 15 years from now.
Yeah.
In 15 years, first of all, what Prabhupada created in India is so big. It's like everybody knows what ISKCON is. Everybody knows what Harinam is. Everybody chants Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe. It's just so big and over the top compared to even when we were younger. The Renaissance didn't hit at that point, really. In one sense, it did in the West, but it took over all of India.
Yeah.
It's quite. There are so. What is there, like 8 temples in Delhi or something like that?
Yeah, some more, I think, maybe.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and it's spreading. And somehow, Prabhupada. I'm so impressed, and every year I get more and more impressed with what Prabhupada's contribution to the world has become now. He set up something that after he leaves, usually something lasts till you leave the planet, and then it sort of like breaks apart. He set something up where it will wind up and just sort of get bigger and evolve after he left.
It's inconceivable. It's so difficult to do that.
Yeah.
But it's
It's
happening.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna
So that's where I'm.
You're feeling it.
Well,
I can see
I'm appreciating we're amongst giants right now. And Indra Swami just showed up.
Yeah.
And who can even begin to describe the glories of Indra Swami?
You know, last night I was at the Kirtan. You know, the Govardhan Hill here is such a beautiful setting, and we had Kirtan there. And then we spent time with Indra Swami. You know, he travels with his team of devotees, just fully surrendered. They're on one hand, they're just like these fully surrendered devotees, but on the other hand, like they're like these beautiful people. Like they're aesthetically, they dress very nice, they behave very nice. They all have different kind of skills and abilities.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're willing to give their life, like to you know, to serve their guru, to serve this mission. It really, it's kind of like you can see the reflection of his heart just in them. And we were coming back last night in the dark, and kind of under the full moon. And you know, Premanjali was there. You know, she's another one of his disciples, and she's a great singer too. But she also composes songs herself. And Maharaj just had to stop. There's about, I don't know, like maybe 12 of us there, some of that. And then he said, "You sing this song for us." And just, you know, under the moonlight, she just started to sing.
Nice.
And this beautiful song she composed herself. And she sang
In
it
English?
in English.
Yeah.
She sang one in Sanskrit, then she sang one in English. And it was so soulful how she sang it. And then, you know, and it was just kind of like just this beautiful society where, like, she has this talent, a devotional talent. And her guru says, isn't like, I need to be the star. Sure, no, I want them to see you. You sing. Share with them the devotion that's in your heart. And then she sings it, and everybody there is just thrilled for her. And feeling how privileged we are to be like in this society. You're right. Like most people in life, they don't just stop and sing a song and do. You know, it's
Right.
like it's a beautiful devotional culture, and the culture. Well, this will be kind of maybe the topic of our nugget and some of our theme today, is how a beautiful culture can give you a deep taste of something sweet, something beautiful, that gives you the power to be a yogi. You know, to be renounced. To be entirely renounced, to let go of everything material because you're finding something spiritual that's very attractive, very beautiful, very captivating. It makes it easy to let go of everything else. All right? You ready?
I like it.
Why don't we get
I like it.
Prana Priya over here?
Pranapriya. Pranapriya.
Hi.
How are you, Pranapriya?
I'm great. Happy to be here at Govardhan Ecovillage.
Yeah? Having a good day today?
Yeah. Yeah, more or less.
Look at it. I mean, I wish everyone could see this view. We're overlooking these beautiful
I know, it's
mountains of
incredible.
Maharashtra. It looks like we're in the Grand Canyon.
It's beautiful.
You can take off your camera and show.
Oh, yes.
Let's see if that can.
Oh, no.
Kaustubha blown it. He's broken the camera
You
off.
gotta turn this
All
camera.
right, everything's falling apart. Kaustubha's
It's not
like,
good. Oh,
Yeah.
it's not good. Let's see. There we go.
all
Now it's
right,
on.
let's see.
But okay. Here's coming with
You
you.
can't really see it, everybody.
It's a little bright.
Turn it up to the. No, it's too bright to see. Anyway,
It's gorgeous.
we
Trust
tried.
us.
Trust us. It
Trust
looks
us,
like we're at the
come here.
bottom of the Grand Canyon, surrounded by these rock-faced walls. The very top is some type of fortress that Shivji Chhatrapati had.
All right.
All right, so what do you got? You got any information? We have to announce Mayapur because it is winding down. Mayapur is right around the bend. If you want to get away, you got the time, come out for a week. Join us in Mayapur for a week. Me and Pranapriya went to Japan for a week. It's a long flight, but we did it. And a week wasn't bad.
No, it was great.
It was great. We had a great
Yeah.
week. And this is even longer than our trip. Our trip was even shorter. So come on out. We're having a week in Mayapur. And guess what? It will change your entire year coming to Mayapur for this week. It's not so expensive. If you got any questions, write to raghu.pilgrimage, raghu.pilgrimage@gmail.com.
You got to come soon, though, because it's January 26th.
It starts on the 26th, and it goes to February 2nd.
We're
Right.
having some camera issues.
We got issues, peeps. So
Yeah.
they can't
Also, there's
see
some
us.
Bhakti Recovery Group meetings happening in person and online on Zoom. Happens in person in Philadelphia, Wednesday evenings at the Bhakti Garden at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And for more online meetings, you can go to bhaktirecoverygroup.com and check out their online meeting list. Also,
Let me make the announcement about Monday. If that's
oh, yeah, great.
Meanwhile, you can work.
You can play on the camera.
You can
in
play
the
with the
meantime.
camera. But this Monday, Raghunath will be interviewing Radha Bhakti, who wrote this book. Is it Miracle? Magic on Mirror Road, which is we spoke a little bit about this a few days ago, but like the Bhaktivedanta Hospital, it's a book about all these remarkable stories that grew out of the Bhaktivedanta Hospital. And so she did for over 10 years. She was researching stories there, and just has written this really fascinating book on a hospital in Mumbai that's entirely run by Bhakti yogis. That has
Who are professionals.
They're full-on
Yeah.
professionals. It's that as the monks used to go, like back in the 90s, the monks would go to the medical colleges to share Bhagavad Gita and all of that. And so many people got interested from there that at a certain point, Radha Swami said, why don't we start our own hospital? And not only did they have now, a place to work with other Bhakti yogis, but they were able to really invest the Bhakti Yoga principles into a hospital of all places, which is where compassion is like most needed,
Sometimes you go to a hospital, it could be very sterile, it could be very lonely, it could be a lot of these fluorescent lights, you can feel isolated. Sometimes they even feel dirty,
Yeah.
But imagine going to a hospital where they get prasad,
They-
where they hear kirtan,
Yeah.
where they bring in a portable temple
Temple,
rolling,
yeah.
like Rath Yatra or temple in there.
And above all, you're just served by people that really care about you. They're sensitive, and they're working under high-pressure circumstances and really responding constantly, always with, a fully competent and fully compassionate spiritual
Sure.
mode. And it's changed so many lives. So Raghunath will interview Radha Bhakti. That should be a great show. on
I'm
Monday.
excited. Hey, when you put that recipe together, like devotees, like tragedy
Tragedy.
and miracles and magic, like this is going to be a good book.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet, but I've heard about it, so I'm really interested to diving into it.
All right. So hear more on Monday.
Yeah.
Now
All right.
we have a nugget. Now, Mary, are you going to read the nugget? Okay.
Let's get Pranapriya back here.
Pranapriya, rather. Right here.
All right. This nugget comes from William James.
You want me to tell you about William James?
Please.
He is often called the father of modern psychology in America. He was also a philosopher and one of the founders of pragmatism. I wonder if you could be called the founder of pragmatism.
I wouldn't call myself I
Maybe
wouldn't
not-
call myself the founder.
Okay.
Modern day contributor, perhaps.
Yeah. He contributed greatly to pragmatism.
Yes.
He took religious and mystical experience seriously, not as theology, but as human psychology. Very interesting angle. His most famous work in this area is The Varieties of Religious Experience, published in 1902, where he studies conversion, awakening, saintliness, and inner transformation, not to argue doctrine, but to ask, what actually changes a person when something real happens to them? William James, people.
Okay.
Good, nice beard as well. We're going to check him out. Respect right there, right?
So he says, the man who lives in his religious center of personal energy and is actuated by spiritual enthusiasms differs from his previous carnal self in perfectly definite ways. The new ardor which burns in his breast consumes in it the lower lusts which formerly beset him. Objectively, it works out by subordinating the lower feelings to the higher. A new sort of interest has usurped the old. The character changes because the old motives have become bankrupt and a new salvation has been revealed.
What do you think, Raghu?
Here's what I think.
Share with me.
Here's what I think, brother. I really like it. I like it because what he's describing isn't willpower. It's not, I stopped wanting things. It's more like something else showed up, and once it did, the old stuff just didn't have the same pull anymore. You didn't have to wrestle it as much. You didn't have to shame yourself out of it. It's just lost its authority. And I think we've all felt that at some point when something's meaningful, and it hits the heart, the things that used to obsess us don't disappear, but they just shrink. They just lost their power. Kryptonite hits them, and they just weaken. You know, they're still there. They just don't run the show, and that's such a relief, right? Because most of us are tired of managing ourselves. Real spiritual life isn't about white-knuckling my desires. It's about finding something better, something deeper, that naturally takes the center stage. As Prabhupada beautifully coined the phrase, I got a higher taste. Or a shelter.
Krishna coined that.
Krishna coined that phrase.
Pardon,
Prabhupada
Tracy,
used that
about
translation, and
yeah.
Shelter has so taken that and ran with it and said,
What did you do?
we said, give up the chase for a higher taste. We found a better way.
Oh, we found a better way.
We found a better way.
Okay.
And that's what it is, really. It's taken this, a new attraction has taken the center stage, and therefore, it lost its fangs a little bit.
I get it. It's part of what makes Bhakti Vedanta so, not just, it makes it beautiful, but it makes it effective. You know, effective in this day and life. Yeah, I can respect spiritual practitioners of different ilks, I suppose.
Oh yeah, different ilks. Forget it.
but where I see transformation take place, it takes absorption. It takes very deep absorption, and it's very rare that a person gets fully absorbed in the abstract, right? In the attributeless Brahman. But anyone, a child, can get absorbed in Kirtan. You know,
Sure.
A child can get
We're witnessing it here with the children here.
We see it all the time. A child can get absorbed. You were talking about a Chudagopi or Janavi. You know, they were just children like all other children, but it would be hard to take a child of that age and have them deeply absorbed in Advaita Vedanta.
Yeah, sit still, calm your mind and breathe.
Right. And so in one sense, we're all kind of like children, particularly in this day and age, our minds are restless. But the idea that even from the young, if just from the womb, practically, you can have your mind, your senses can become absorbed in spiritual content. And really, we call it the Pada Brahman, right? Like the highest manifestation of that spiritual energy. You can become captivated by it. You can become caught up in it, in the beat, in the taste, in the flavor, and let it pull you deeper and deeper into spiritual absorption. So that's the Bhāgavatam began with the sages and Naimisharanya. They knew the Kali Yuga was coming. They knew that the lives were going to be shorter for people. They knew that the minds were going to be disturbed and restless. They were concerned. They're with compassion. They're very concerned, and they're saying, what brings the ultimate good to mankind? How will people find shelter in this darker age? And the answer was, you're going to find it in Bhagavatam. You're going to find it in Bhakti Vedanta. You're going to find it in that. And what is Bhagavatam pushing right from the beginning to end? Chanting of these holy names and Sankirtan. So it's simultaneously valuable just for the aesthetic beauty of it, but beyond that, the practicality, pragmatism. There you go, right?
Very pragmatic.
So it seems to me like William James, I get the impression he was very intelligent. I get the impression he researched a lot about what you could call religious experience, which I think nowadays we would probably call it spiritual experience, right? That how people transform through their spiritual practices. And he was seeing a pattern, right? He was seeing that the way that this works is when someone tastes something, he said a new ardor which burns in his breast consumes the lower lust which formerly beset him. It wasn't just by, like you were saying, like, what do you call it, white-knuckling?
White-knuckling it.
Yeah, it's that there's something beautiful in their spiritual practice that just carries them, and that's what we can find in Bhakti Yoga. And it's we're going to hear beautiful, incredible insights from these Nagapatnis, these wives of the serpent Kaliya. It's kind of a far out. If you picture this, right, like he was this incredibly ferocious-looking serpent, dragon kind of character.
But he has some piety. He has some interesting
somehow,
piety.
maybe his piety came from his wives. You know, it's just like the association of his wives. But he's now beat up, right? He's been vomiting
blood out of his eyes, out of his nostrils.
So he must be like lying like on the shore, like a real complete mess. And then his wives step up, and they're speaking about him, and they're saying, "How did he become so fortunate?" You know, he's kind of like, "What are you talking about, fortunate?" You know?
He's missing a tooth. One of his fangs is broken.
but they're saying, "Look how fortunate he is. Your feet touched his head," and the value, the boon of having this connection to you is something that yogis strive for, to have that kind of powerful connection with the absolute truth. And you are the most beautiful, full manifestation of the absolute truth. They can fully appreciate it, and they're just reeling off like a roll of like Vedantic insights into who Krishna is. That's just so essential. It's really, again, we're in the 10th canto of the Bhāgavatam. This is where Vedanta comes to its pinnacle, and from the mouths of these wives of this serpent comes the highest and most beautiful knowledge and wisdom. You ready?
We are still trying to figure out if these wives were serpentine themselves.
Yes, we don't know.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever even questioned that.
Garuda's a bit of a mystery to me as well.
Why?
Well, what
He's
did
a
he...
transcendental bird being? That's weird? You find that weird?
Well, sometimes he's kind of has like human features with wings. Sometimes,
right.
So he has more like full-on bird.
Right. There's sort of artist traditions of what he could look like.
I mean, I'm thinking that if he eats snakes, he's got to be full-on bird-faced. He can't be doing that.
Yeah. He's got to have talons.
He got to have definitely.
If you're flying, you can't have a human body. You can't get in the air.
Yeah, but just to eat the snake, I think a beak would be better off.
Much better. Snake eating, you need a beak. You need a.
Okay. All right, so that we've got figured out. He's got a
Garuda is a bird.
But Nagapatnis, we don't know.
Nagapatnis, because they're sometimes portrayed as serpentine.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Let's dive in.
Okay, hit it.
Narayanam namaskrityannaram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatojayam madhirayat. Before we start in the Srimad Bhāgavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshta bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya
Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki.
By regular attendance in class on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome in the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes. With the torchlight of knowledge, I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter
16,
Text 37.
Okay, so now here's the prayers. It's coming from them right now. Nagapatni speaking here.
Those who have attained the dust of your lotus feet never hanker for the kingship of heaven, limitless sovereignty, the position of Brahma, or rulership over the earth. They are not interested even in the perfections of yoga or in liberation itself.
Okay.
You know what that reminded me of?
Tell me.
Jesus getting taken up to the top of the mountain.
Jesus.
It can all be yours.
Oh.
You want it, you can have it. Like, you want sovereignty of this earth? Not interested. Like, what do people want in this world? They want stuff. They want every stuff. They don't even want a Ferrari. They want 3 I told you I had a client that had like 2 Ferraris.
And you got to drive one.
No, I didn't. Never drove it. I wouldn't want to.
Whose car was it that you drove upstate?
Oh, that was just like a big bitchin' Land Rover.
Okay.
Like a fully packed and fully loaded Land Rover. But like, no, like one of those real, people like, they don't want one. They want more. They want more and more and more and more. And It never ends. Well, and then they'll say things like, I know, because my motorcycle guy's always trying to sell me another motorcycle. He's like, oh, yeah, well, I was like, well, I already have a motorcycle. He's like, yeah, you use them as different tools. This is going to be your off-road, your street bike. This is when you want to get around town. It's like when the sweetness of one drains, they're trying to sell you another sweetness. But the actuality of it is, there's no sweetness in the mundane. It's like sweet for a moment, and it's all bland after a while. It's like chewing that which has already been chewed.
This is
something, right? Imagine if I got a new second motorcycle.
Chew that for a year and come back and get another one.
Yeah, and how does it feel? And now they're just like things I have to worry about. Especially if you're not super rich, it's just like you got to maintain these things. You got to pay insurance on these things. Are they worth things? They're taking up space.
If you add up all the times that you drove it and the amount of minutes that it is, and so it's like I just spent like this ridiculous amount of money per minute.
Well, you know what? No one has a purpose-driven life, Kaustubha, and therefore they just figure out how to create purpose.
Right. Even
if purpose is to collect adult toys, Yeah. And I'm not even criticizing, because it's fun to ride motorcycles, or people enjoy it. You're feeling you're outside, and you get to. Some people find it to be closer to nature. I enjoy riding a motorcycle, but the thing is, it's like when your stuff becomes your god, it just never
where you
ends.
search for your bliss.
You search for your bliss. Yeah. Don't let that be your bliss. There are things that we like to do. Me and Pranapriya, we love to go for walks. We love to go for hikes. We love to go bicycle riding. But when these things become your deep bliss, let God be that for you. Because all those there's going to be a time where I can't ride a bike anymore, or I can't hike it. I did yoga this morning. I was like, I've got pains in my knees and my toes. I was like, I'm like worse off than my mom.
I was thinking when you said it, you hit right on something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. Because, I've been giving classes in the yoga teacher training.
People love it. People love your classes.
Thank you. And you've been giving very nice classes too.
How do you know?
Because I've dropped in on some of them in the evening, and I've heard you speaking.
Okay. What did I say? What was I talking about?
I don't know.
You're like, you weren't there, were you?
But we've been talking about the nature of the self, because yoga is a practice which empowers one to overcome the obstacle of the mind for the purpose of the self experiencing its own true nature. So what is the nature of the self? And traditionally it's said that the nature of Brahman, the nature of the self, is Sat Chit Ananda, right? Mm-hmm. It's eternal. And eternal means not just in terms of endurance. Like, when we say Sat, let me put it this way. When we translate Sat, we can translate it as eternal, but that doesn't capture the full thing, right? Because that's talking about the duration of something. Does it begin? Does it end? When does it begin? When does it end? And this is saying it doesn't begin and it doesn't end. But it also means changeless, right? There's nothing you can do to pick that apart or warp it in some way. Spirit is like that, right?
Right. The mind can change. The intelligence can change.
Yeah. Yes, but the self, changeless. And so it refers to its duration. It refers to its changeless nature. It also refers, Sat means it's true. It's real in a sense that material energy is not quite the same. Because material energy, the form it takes one moment, is there for one moment, and then it's gone. So in that sense, it's unreal. So Sat encompasses all three of those, right? It's endurance, it's changelessness, and it's truth. And so we say spiritual energy, Purusha, is Sat Chit Ananda, and material energy is Asat, right? Achit, it's not conscious, and it's near Ananda, right? It's devoid of bliss, right? Whereas the soul by nature is composed of bliss, by nature is blissful. The material energy, we're convinced that there's bliss to be found in this form.
In stuff of this world.
Yeah, I mean, most typically that goes sexually, right? Like that form could give me such bliss, such happiness.
Maybe that's what you would go there.
I think it's
first.
Popular. I think I could establish that is a popular way to people go. But actually anything. Actually anything.
I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking of another motorcycle.
But whether it's another motorcycle, whether it's just the right cozy home or the big
Coziness,
mansion that we're looking for.
Yeah, some people are like, forget those big mansions. I want a cozy home.
And it's just another
It's
way.
a flip side.
Yes.
Right? You know what Prabhupada called that? Or the Bhāgavatam calls it? wet stool or dry stool.
Right.
Like, no, my stool is better. No, my stool is better. It's all stool. Who are you kidding?
One's dry, but more or less the same.
Yeah, I like cozy homes. I like big mansions. I want a big, beautiful, gaudy mansion.
Right. So this idea, it's really worth meditating. By nature, because I'm spirit, I am blissful. By nature, its very inherent nature of matter is that it is devoid of bliss. Even we may convince ourselves, I'm getting some taste here. That taste, it becomes revealed that it's there and then it's gone. It's unreal. And so this goes back to what we were hearing from William James. You know, a person has their, what he calls religious experience, we'll call it spiritual experience. I think that's probably what he would have said nowadays.
I'm going to have to,
Huh?
you know, I'm just reflecting
Yes.
on my first deep spiritual realization,
What was
taking
that?
mushrooms.
Oh, yeah, that is.
You don't know this. You may not know this. I was a collector
of
of
mushrooms?
things.
Okay.
Silly things, retro things. When I was a teenager,
What did
I
you have?
collected
Bottle
lunch
caps,
bottle caps. Yeah, but that was when I was really little.
stamps.
That was when I was really little. When I got a little older, I collected GI Joe dolls. I collected lunch boxes from like the 70s. Huge collection.
I'm resisting. I'm
Don't say a
holding
thing.
back.
Don't say a thing.
I'm holding back.
Of course, I collected records. You know, that was a big thing in the punk music scene.
Sure.
So many different types of collections and
Do you still have that collection? It's gone long gone.
No. I gave everything up to God.
That's right. When you moved into the ashram.
Yeah,
like,
gave
you
it all
did.
up.
I did that too.
Except my Les Miserables cassette.
But
Okay,
the
wait a
devotees
sec-
took care of that for you.
Wait a
They threw
second.
that
Let me
outside of the
finish my
van.
story.
But I was just going to share this. Who do you think? You'll never guess. But I gave my record collection to someone that you know, but you'll never guess who it is.
Who?
You know Gingy.
Oh, I know Gingy.
Yeah, I gave him my whole record collection.
Nice of you.
Yeah, he appreciated it. Now he's a DJ and he still has those records.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Gingy. All right, so anyway, my point being was I had all these collections, and I really thought I had a cool collection of stuff. And then
What happened?
I took mushrooms
And it was
under the guidance of a bogus guru.
Okay.
He wasn't Hare Krishna. He was just some like spiritual guy at my nightclub. If you read my book, you'd know about him. But and he gave me a mantra to chant while taking those mushrooms. And at
What
that,
was the mantra?
Om Mani Padme Om.
Oh.
Om Mani Padme Om. Om Mani Padme Om. Om Mani Padme Om. Om Mani Padme Om. And it made me realize it is all worthless.
The mantra helped?
I don't know what helped, but I know Krishna was behind everything because he is. And at that time, I realized this is all a bunch of nonsense. Like it's
lunchbox.
I saw both my apartment, my collections, all my accoutrements, my stuff. I was like,
Near Ananda.
not only that, I saw it like a speck in time, in centuries, like centuries from
You
now.
zoomed out.
This is I so zoomed out, like I was going to paint my room a cool color. I had a swatch of different colors. I was going to paint my room. I was trying to make like a Pee-wee's Playhouse out of my room.
Okay.
And I just realized this is all nonsense. Don't I understand? This building has had hundreds of families living in this tenement, and it will have hundreds more, and it will become dirt again. And it was probably forest at one time. It'll be a
And there's
skyscraper
One little mundane piece of the material energy that I'm trying to hold on
for a
to.
speck that I'm trying to give significance to, and it
Some
has
flavor
no
in it.
significance.
Right. You know what? I think you hit on something. I think it can come at any time in one spiritual path, but a lot of times at the beginning you begin to realize there's no bliss in these things. I will actually taste something special if I let go of them.
My pleasure came when I gave away all my records.
Yeah.
But these things that I valued, that they weren't just that I valued, but there was a community of people who valued and put high price tags on these things.
Right.
Because you couldn't get them anymore. They were out of print. And it was such a release of a burden.
Mm.
You know, we're watching Arjuna Prabhu, who I've been cultivating for like 30 years.
Yes. He's
And
here with us now.
he's here with us now. He came on pilgrimage, and we just left him in India, and he's been here since, and he's doing good. He's 53 years old.
Moved into
He's
the Brahmacharya ashram in the Chopati temple, like hardcore.
yeah, and some of you guys know him from Bhakti Recovery, and
Or at least he didn't move in, but he
he didn't move in, but he
serves
stayed in a
with them
hotel
every day.
and went out and doing hard. He's one of these guys that doesn't sing. you know, and they're out on the street making him knock on windows, passing out
Cars.
Bhagavad Gitas of cars and traffic, and leading kirtans every night, even though he's like one of these sort of introverted guys. But anyway, he was like a business guy, a sales guy for his whole life, you know. And then he just sort of like walked away from everything, and he's like, and then just moved to a trailer in his, I don't think he'll mind me sharing this, in his sister's garage, like in sister's driveway. He's like, Raghu, I'm ready for renunciation. I've given up my job, my apartments, my condo, and I'm living in a trailer, a tiny trailer. I take showers in my sister's house. I go back to my trailer, and I work online. And then he called me once. He goes, I'm not working anymore. I'm over this. I don't want to eat. All I want is Krishna. And so we get to this. We lose the taste because we realize the taste it gave us was just making my ego feel better. It wasn't even making me feel better. Like you'd say, hey, I like your new motorcycle, Raghu. If you're into motorcycles, I like your new motorcycle. If you were into records, you'd say, wow, you got a great record collection. If you're into real estate, you'd say, oh, dude, I love your spread.
And maybe that's the biggest taste you're trying to get out of it is other people.
People's like endorsement of you, some validation from others.
How great of an enjoyer you are.
And in Bhakti, we're like, we really don't care. We really got to this point. For me, as a 22-year-old, to put on an orange dhoti and walk down the street, you really got to be over of caring for what people think of you.
You do.
You know what I mean? I'm going to shave all my hair except a tuft of hair growing out of the back of my skull, so I look like one of these guys from like a Bruce Lee movie, and march down the street and sing songs. You really had to not care what people think about you. And you did. If you got to that point where I'm moving to the ashram, I'm going to give up everything that I consider cool as far as fashion and looks and hairstyle, and and I'm just going to become a Hare Krishna. That was a huge type of surrender, but it was a relief because you're thinking, I've been just dressing and acting and combing I've been just doing it so people think I'm cool. What a relief that I couldn't care less anymore. Krishna, what do you think of me?
You know, it's such an interesting phase of spiritual life that I think people from all different spiritual traditions taste, right?
That's what William James was saying.
Yeah, that conviction. There is no bliss in this. I actually taste the higher bliss by letting it go, or by letting it go. I've kind of opened up bandwidth in my time, in my mind, to become more deeply absorbed in that spiritual content, which is what I really desire. And when I do that, there's some taste there that is so satisfying that it's transforming. And as he's saying, it's not by, or you were saying, not by that white knuckling, but it's just the lower thing. What did he say? The lower taste has no authority anymore. It has, because it has no power. It's just like you were saying, like you chew a piece of gum long enough. It's not like you have to, once you spit that thing out, it's not you're thinking, oh, I want that piece of gum again. Because you know it doesn't have any flavor.
It doesn't have the taste anymore.
It has no authority over your
once you
desire
get
anymore.
the higher taste.
Yeah.
And even if you do fall back into Maya, there's
remember
this haunting memory of like, you really gave up a jewel.
Yep.
You gave up a diamond for broken glass.
Well, commonly they say that people that are approaching a spiritual path go through this. What is it? Where you're going back and forth. How is this slipping my mind right now? Not something in Vairagya. What is it? Where you taste it and
Bhoga Tyaga.
Thank you. Bhoga Tyaga. Right.
If I can help, I'm here for you.
Thank you, Raghunath. Bhoga Tyaga. Tasting and then renouncing, tasting and renouncing. So I taste the material energy, but at a certain point, that taste gets, you get
we
this
get sickened by
indigestion.
it. Like, how many glub jamuns can you eat? And then you're like, I never want to eat a glub jamun again. I completely renounce glub jamuns. I'm over glub jamuns. Then I get bored, and someone's showing me, and I'm hungry, and someone showed me a glub jamun. I was like, yes, I'll have one. And then you're like, and then you have
Then
two,
you're back on
and
it.
I'll have four, and you're like, what have I done? What have I done?
So
what have I
you're
done?
back on the boga
and
side.
you're back onto renunciation again.
And that's why the spiritual taste becomes important. So you don't go back and forth between Bhoga and Tyaga, because when you get that spiritual taste, the Tyaga has no power. The Bhoga has no power over you anymore. You're tasting something higher.
Well, I felt in our nugget today that when William James was sharing that sort of collective, and I like that because he's interested in the collective spiritual resurrection that people were having. Yeah. You know what I thought of immediately, Pranapriya? Guess what I was thinking of?
Pranapriya?
I could guess. I was thinking of the Shakers. Because I was thinking, if you go, we live near that Shaker village, and there's a picture of them doing their community dance. And they're all like dancing in a circle, and I was like, you know what? They must have felt like, you know what? My material life is over. I'm going to live with these wacky people. I'm going to do a dance. I'm going to pray. I'm going to shake. And, there's something about working for a greater purpose, and we're going to grow, harvest our own seeds. We're going to plant our own gardens. We're going to build our own furniture. We're going to live communally. We're going to wake up early and pray. We're going to freaking, kneel down on our knees till they bleed practically and pray. And then we're going to sing songs. And it must have, whatever their world was, they stepped away from survival mode to this is all about you, God. And it's about our godly community. They must have also felt what we felt when we said, you know what, give me that crazy robe, I'm wearing it.
Right.
Give me that buzzers, I'm going to buzz my head. It's the same type of this life is not for me. It's for something bigger, something higher, something bolder, something more righteous. It keeps me happy. I'm off of things that have dragged me down. I don't drink anymore. I don't smoke anymore. I trust there's a higher power. I can't control my world. This is across the board happening in religious experiences throughout, across the board.
It's there.
It's there.
Nice. Thank you, Raghu.
You're welcome.
Baba Ganoush. Why don't you read the next verse?
O Lord, although this Kaliya, the king of serpents, has taken birth in the mode of ignorance and is controlled by anger, he has achieved that which is difficult for others to achieve. Embodied souls, who are full of desires and are thus wandering in the cycle of birth and death, can have all benedictions manifested before their eyes simply by receiving the dust of your lotus feet.
So we're hearing, the last verse, it mentioned different things, right? Kingship of heaven.
A position of Brahma, that was a good one too. You want a position of Brahma? Imagine that's like saying, do you want to be the VP? No, better yet. We're just going to give you this whole corporation. You're going to be the CEO. You're like, the new CEO of Apple, Kaustubha Das. You're like, not interested. If it's going to take me away from serving Krishna.
And that is...
I wonder what your price is. I'm just curious.
You said that with a devilish grin.
Well, I'm just thinking, they always say everyone's got a price. Does Kaustubha have a price?
I don't know. I hope not.
This is like a movie, isn't it? The devil comes in the form of me and offers you. Yeah, you sure you don't want to be the CEO? You're really good at that. You're really creative, Kaustubha. I bet you'd be really good at designing the new Apple 18.
Oh, yeah.
I think you'd be good at that. You're like, well, I am a little good at design.
I don't. Now that you mention it.
Now that you mention the devil. You know what I mean? The devil gets in there. Oh, yeah, you're the best designer.
Flattering.
I've seen your
Everybody
wisdom of the
needs you.
sages.
Everybody needs you.
We really need you to grow the company. Of course, you'll still be spiritual.
You'll do a lot of good for people.
A lot will be good for humanity at large. But, what is your price? How much would you need? How much you need, Mr. Kaustubha, to make we can green light this deal?
Okay.
He's thinking, what is my price?
What is my price?
Interesting to think, what is your price, isn't it?
I've never thought of it before.
You know what? Perhaps we've never been really tempted, Kaustubha. Perhaps.
Well, I'm convinced of this, Raghunath. I'm convinced that we're in a Krishna-protected bubble. Because we exist in this world.
Or maybe we just have bad karma.
No, hear me out. Hear me out. One way or another, we're existing in a world that is not too powerful, that's not so tempting that we're not able to maintain our vows and our practices.
Krishna's always protected me from getting to be such a crazy life.
Yes.
It's never been too...
But what about the pleasures of the higher planets? Would we fall would we be immediately crushed by that?
Well, truthfully, I think I'd even fall on this planet if I got really hard tempted. I don't have to go to
What is your
heaven.
price?
I mean, it's like we can't think we're above earthly Maya.
We should never think that.
Because that's how you're sounding right now, like you're above it. You're not above it.
No, well,
I mean, heavenly planet. What are you talking about?
Raghunath,
If Maya wanted to take you down now, it's just like a wink and a blink, and you'd be like on the floor.
That's essentially what I was trying to share. Okay, that I'm how quickly we could be, how effortless it would be for the material energy to completely bewilder us.
Consume us in a moment. Just
Yeah.
like the famous story of Narada and Krishna.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
There's
You
a
might
word.
have-
There's a
you
word
might
for
have
that
heard
one.
it.
I can't remember how it's been described in the past.
We just had a big argument over lunch.
No, we didn't argue it. But we spoke about our
We spoke about our
arguments.
argument. We were bringing up.
Yes.
Bringing up
It wasn't even an
magic
argument.
moments.
It's just I said something.
We're
that
having
got
some
upset.
magic moment recaps of previous podcasts at
That's
lunch.
Right, that's right. Oh, but even in like my dreams, I felt
You have like sinful dreams,
well. I've had dreams where it's been displayed to me.
like
Don't
opulence, you
think.
can have
Don't
it
think for a
all.
minute that you're a powerful yogi. Don't think that for a minute. Don't think that you're beyond the power of the material energy for a minute. That would be silly. The only thing holding you together is the grace of God, right? The only the only thing that in a moment you could be complete. I mean, that's part of why we see. I think in Bhāgavatam we see Brahma become confused and bewildered. We see Shiva become confused and bewildered in the most embarrassing way.
Embarrassing.
Right, in the most embarrassing way.
Embarrassing.
So like it would be ridiculous. There are some paths of yoga where there is kind of like an idea like I have conquered the material energy. Like sometimes you see some of these yogis that carry that kind of mood. There was I don't even know if I'll mention his name.
Name names.
I won't mention his name. But there's a very famous
Very famous.
guru-ish quote in finger quotes figure, who used to say that he was criticizing Gandhi because Gandhi kind of admitted in a moment of vulnerability in his book about he did these, what was it called, experiments in faith or something. He wrote a book like this.
Okay.
And there he talked about his temptations. And this figure was saying, why are you people all into this Gandhi? He frankly admitted that he was, controlled by his desires. I'm beyond all of that. Nothing of this material world can shake me from my convictions, my spiritual convictions. And so a local prostitute took up the challenge and succeeded. She broke his will quite easily.
Wow.
Yeah. And from that point,
I don't know the story. Who is he? Whisper it. Oh, Osho. I could say Osho. He's already ran out of town.
and this, okay, now that we're there,
Well, he wasn't a Vedic. He was.
you don't know what he was before. And that's my point. You see, this is the thing. What BKS Iyengar, I have a source.
Are you taking down everybody now?
No. I have a source that heard directly from BKS Iyengar.
Oh, okay.
And BKS Iyengar, who was also from Pune,
Yeah.
he said that he would hear Osho speak before this incident. He said he was the most captivating, riveting speaker he had ever heard before. He said he would speak to a huge audience. You could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
But he said after that incident, he took his philosophy and just totally threw it out the door. He entirely changed his whole presentation and approach. And that's where he came up with the divine yes and
I don't never read an Osho book.
Just accept everything. Don't try to renounce everything. Just indulge. Indulge in these
I like
things.
your theories.
Yeah.
I like
You're
your
very
theories.
devilish today. Right
Let me sign up for your newsletter.
Your newsletter. All right. We have takeaways today. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. That's the show.
Did our camera go off again, or are we there?
It might have gone off on Riverside, it looks like.
Oh, okay, but we're good over here. Okay. Let's get you a microphone.
Hey, Pranapriya. How are you?
Herbal Prabhu, I'm well. How are you?
Good.
You feeling better?
What do you mean?
Earlier before the show.
You trying to reveal things about me that I didn't reveal?
Was feeling better.
You're trying to when I want to be vulnerable, I'll be vulnerable. You don't have to be vulnerable for me.
Forgive me, Prabhu. Back to our takeaways. Spirituality is in vogue.
Spirituality is in vogue. It's back, Raghunath. It's in. We lost it. Give me the microphone. He's checking out. Okay.
All right. You read the chat board. Oof.
Read the chat board. It's over here. Yes, go ahead.
A beautiful spiritual culture can give you a taste for renunciation.
It really can. But renunciation, that to others, it may not even look like renunciation, but you've actually really let go of all the mundane things. Yes.
When you get a taste for something higher, our old desires fall away.
They fall away.
Don't white-knuckle it. Find a higher taste.
Okay, don't white-knuckle it. That's the Raghunath.
That's a
right
good
there.
one, yeah. We want more and more and more, and it never ends.
It never ends.
One more with the higher taste is give up the chase for a higher taste. We found a better way.
That shelter
Pretty
lyrics
good.
right there.
The bard of his generation.
Bard of his generation.
We're trying to create purpose through our stuff.
That's true, but it can't be found there.
Don't let your motorcycle be your bliss. Let God be your bliss.
God greater than motorcycle. Yes.
What a relief to stop worrying about what other people think.
Ah,
The only thing holding us together is the grace of God.
that's right.
And
Here we go.
you ready to press play, Prabhu? And the devil wants to know Kaustubha's price.
Oh, the devil probably already knows, but God is keeping him away somehow.
I think they might be here.
How's the sound on that? Everybody can. Is it good balance? Let's see what this. Good balance. Patricia and me. Decent. Yes, good. Yes, good. Yes, good. Raghunath, thank you for doing the show with us today.
Thanks everybody for joining
Pranpriya,
us.
thank you.
Everybody, thanks for joining us despite our travels, our international travels. Lots going on. Prayers out to all our friends in Venezuela and
Yes.
Chapu's family in Venezuela.
Prayers for them all.
Prayers for them all. You never know what the hell is up and down anymore.
It's unstable.
Things are unstable. Things get unstable. Transitions are always sketchy. So prayers go out for people's safety, well-being, and spiritual connection.